What's happening, everybody? This is Travis here again with another review. Um, quick thing I was thinking about. So I saw this thing on Amazon Prime, just kind of passing my view, called Mortal. I was like, okay, this sounds fun. Just got done watching it. Again, Amazon Prime, Mortal. Some spoilers, so this is just a passing review, first viewing kind of reaction to it. This will be where I'll say how I feel about a movie after I just watched it. If I feel like going back and reviewing it or watching it again, then I'll give a review proper. This is just my first, just literally just got done watching it on my phone, reaction to it. So, here we go. This movie, done by Lionsgate and Saban. Those names really caught me off guard because I was like, Power Rangers? Kinda? No. Uh, okay. Movie takes place in Norway. And a lot of the primarily, it's about 50-50 in Norwegian, which is cool because I automatically have subtitles for it. It's like, alright, this is great. You spend 5-6 minutes with this dude named Eric. It's very slow, in a good way. I mean, you get a couple of passing things, like he wakes up in the middle of the night and there's like a fucking tree on fire. But it cuts back, and then he's still in his little makeshift tent thing with a bunch of tarps. And you think, oh, it was a dream. Camera cuts to another view, and we still see a tree with some embers, and I'm like, oh, okay, elemental, maybe? We'll get to that in a minute. Movie goes on. Dude gets messed with by some teenagers, basically. And he literally wants me and goes, listen, don't touch me. You will die. You will burn. Kid, being a teenage little dick, just puts both hands on like this and just goes, dead. Not any kind of explosion or special effect kind of way, but just kind of like something happened on the inside, and no one really knows what happened to the kid, but he was up, he was down, then he was dead. That was basically it. So, kid's father, after this dude gets arrested, Eric, is looking for Eric, see what's going on, or looking to see Eric, whatever, for whatever reason. Father's revenge and all of that stuff, I guess, I don't know. And he's just like, no, we're still looking into it, whatever. So he gets delayed. I felt nothing for these characters. I'm gonna say this: I felt nothing for almost this entire movie. I was like, okay, if anything, it had me intrigued. Like, where is this movie going? Because you see this dude literally do all these different things, but you don't know how or why, which I respect. If it was a TV show, but it's a movie. And to be honest, you don't really get any answers until we got about 20 to 30 minutes in the movie left in the movie, and it's already a 90-minute movie. Not 90 minute, like 100 and some odd minute movie. So you're like, okay, so we're not really cutting string here. But I'm like, whatever. We'll find out what we find out. Goes on, and it's just I feel very weird about this movie. Not very weird in the. It's just the head scratcher. So try and make this short. So basically, he meets up with this girl Christine because she's someone who's trying to talk to him or whatever, when he's still under Norwegian police custody in this little small town in Norway, I guess. I don't know. She starts talking to him. She gets him to open up. An American comes in from the embassy and goes, okay, we need to take this dude back to the U.S. because reasons. So it's very convoluted in that way. And if there was more, it seemed like they knew more than what they were letting on. But if this dude was an American, how in the hell did he get to Norway without flying? Or whatever. I don't know, maybe it was there already the entire time, I don't know. It's not really explained. So, see all this happen. They sedate him, take him into a helicopter, and they're like, okay, let's get him out of here. Mid-flight, stuff goes wrong as it always would. Crash, Eric saves agent trying to do whatever. Journey continues. Get to a bridge, then we really see shit hit the fan. Because, how to explain this? It's the old cliche of the abilities of this person are tied into their emotions, so if they're afraid, they'll be defensive. It's played to death, but it makes sense. That's why it's been played to death. So, you get that. Then we just see this dude summon this storm. I mean, a literal storm. And it's weird. To one point, Christine, the counselor lady, girl, chick, whatever, she's telling him to calm down, let her control this like he did in the office, in the interrogation room, essentially. And, dude sticks out his hand, basically like this, and he stops friggin' lightning from striking. He starts out both hands, and he stops like 5 different streams of lightning. And of course he's getting like burned up or whatever. We don't know why. But the movie's called Portal, so it makes sense. I don't know why, I guess. And then he just dissipates this whole thing. Then they finally make their way back to this farm, which is basically then not so much the MacGuffin, but the MacGuffin location, essentially. Kind of where we get all of our answers. And this is in the last 20 minutes. You finally see this, and first they're like, okay, so you're going to stay out here, and we're going to go check out this thing. Because they went to the farm, and they found like this crypt or whatever. Okay. So then, but, time out here. Meanwhile, this ambassador lady calls in the fucking military. And they're like, okay, they got snipers all around this place, surrounding this guy. It's like, we'll just, wait to take a shot on him. Yeah, that's smart. It goes about as well as you'd think. So, resume with the other two. By the way, at this point, after the bridge, they got help from this other officer guy from the first half hour of the movie. Didn't learn his name, didn't really need to. So they go down with a bunch of other excavator people, whatever. Neither one of them just goes, shouldn't we wait for an archaeologist? Nah. Goes down. You see all these runes, like, and they're not like small rune stones like you would find in like say Skyrim. They're like giant tablets, like the size of this bookshelf, if not a little taller. And I'm like, okay. They see another one in the back, just kind of doing whatever. And then they turn around. They see this mural of Yggdrasil. Then, for those who know Thor, this is the World Tree. So yeah, very deep in the Norse mythology. And we'll get to why in a minute, because there's a moment in the hospital that, in a hospital before this, that it's passing by, but we'll get to it in a second. Because it comes in with this. And so they go down. And they're like, they tell Eric, listen, there's some stuff down there. But other than the mural, like next to it, they tell him that next to the mural of this tree, there's this little like chest thing. It's like a stone chest with metal chains. Yeah. We're gonna have guys who can open it for you, But when they do, let them go, and then do your business. Do what you gotta do. So they do. Now remember that pin we were going to talk about about the hospital? Yeah, we're going to talk about that now. So it turns out, through relaying of information we've had throughout this, it's very weird. Because there are like 4 locations. Wilderness, this interrogation room, on the road, essentially, I'll count that as a location because it's a continuous travel. Hospital, and then the farm. Okay, so 5 places. 5 places. And we've talked about the road, we've talked about being in the woods, and we talked about basically the interrogation room, essentially. The hospital. Dude's in an MRI after the bridge. He passed out. So like, we're going to take a look at you and just kind of go through all this and see what happens. So what happens is, like I said, he's in this MRI machine. It starts going. They're like, okay, and they get the whole workup. And they're like, this can't be right. He can't be alive, or that's like either how is he alive or he can't be alive. Something it's impossible. Blah blah blah. Insert cliche line here. And so before they start up the MRI machine, they're like, Eric tells her, like, listen, all I kept seeing is like this tree on the horizon, and it's like this cold, wintry place, and all I kept seeing was that tree. Because he talks about like this tree in the on the horizon of these visions. He keeps getting, like, he sees different terrains, different places that he can't even imagine, but this big tree that's always off in the horizon. So the police dude, who helps him out later, is like, what's he talking about? She tells him, oh, he gets these visions with a giant tree. Dude goes, okay. Goes off screen, goes into a library for like 3 seconds, couple minutes. Pulls out a children's book on Norse mythology. Just for simplification for everybody, I guess. And yeah, dude's apparently son of Thor. Or at least that's the belief. And then we get here. Yeah. Dude's son of Thor, apparently, because in Norse mythology, after Ragnarok and all the gods die, Thor's 2 sons built a farm, and prepare for the Greek god's arrival. Or not Greek, sorry, Norse god's return. Yeah. And turns out Eric is one of these sons. So he goes down, again, going back to where we were, with the rune and the mural and the chest. So the chest is done, chains dropped, whatever. Yeah. So dude starts taking stuff out. He sees this glove, tries it on for a little bit, takes it off, puts it to the side. Then he finds this belt. I don't know what these items are supposed to be, except the last one, because the last one is the last one. But again, takes this belt off, puts it off to the side. Actually, no, he doesn't try the belt on. He looks at it, puts it to the side, and then he goes down. He picks this thing. He looks at this thing, flashlight, looks at it. See him go on the radio, which is on his belt. He goes, Christine, it's a hammer. And then everyone's like, oh my god. And we're like, oh shit. Everyone's like, oh my god, this is great. I'm just sitting there like, oh shit. This will be great. This bodes well. So yeah, after all that happens, what should happen next? He comes out, all this stuff. He's wearing the glove, or actually not. He had the glove like in his hand. He's wearing the belt, and he's got the hammer in his hand. And yes, he summoned lightning with the thing. Like a bolt of lightning came down, struck it, and he's like, the hammer's protecting me. I'm like, okay. Okay. This came out in 2020, so we know Thor. We know of Thor, at least in the Marvel extent. So we know what this is. This is Mjolnir. And just the ending goes about as well as you think. I'll leave it at that. Then, yeah, I'm just gonna say everything. All I'm gonna say is something pops off, and then if I left something hanging, that's for a reason. But yeah, I'm not gonna spoil the ending for you guys. I told you basically everything up till then. Kind of summarized it within about 15, 16 minutes. Yeah, that's about that though. Might give this another review later, much later. If you guys want me to follow up on this with a second viewing with an actual 80, with a percentage and everything, let me know, and I'll see you guys when I see you. Peace.